Good morning, guys. So today is December 22nd, and I was walking through my house and I was thinking, you know, of just how blessed I am. Not only have I survived a year and 2 months without my daughter, I've survived through a pandemic. Like two major catastrophic events, one personally and one worldwide. And so many people have lost their family members, so many people have lost their jobs, so many people have lost pretty much everything. And I was opening the blinds and I was seeing the light come in. I was making up my bed and I just had this overwhelming feeling of gratitude because during the time that I lost Amber, which will always be part of me, my story, it will be how I overcame, how I became, and how I am becoming a better person. But losing her was, I felt like, was the end of the world. And some days I still feel like it's the end of the world. But God got me through that. And then 5 months into grieving her and trying to come to grips with this major void in my life, I go back to work, and 2 weeks later, I'm back home because of the pandemic, COVID-19. And here we are, December 22nd. I went from losing my daughter, being off work, not knowing if I was going to go back to work, went back to work, the pandemic happened, didn't know if I was going to have a job, and working remotely, still grieving my daughter, and going through so many different transitions personally and professionally. And I have to tell you guys, I am so thankful to God, like so thankful. And I think about the people who have lost loved ones during this pandemic and how they have been restricted to go to the hospital, how they've been restricted of how they funeralize, memorialize their loved ones. And I just cannot imagine having lost Amber during this pandemic and having such huge astronomical restrictions on having my family and my friends to mourn with me and to come and celebrate her life. I just cannot imagine what some families are feeling. And I'm not thankful by no means that my daughter is not here, but I'm grateful that I was able to celebrate her life. That it's a closure piece. And families who have lost loved ones that did not have that opportunity, and if you're watching, I'm going to say I am so sorry. I'm deeply sorry. And you got to find a way to memorialize your family member, your loved one, when this is all over with. And I don't care if it's been a year, I don't care if it's been 2 years, but you're gonna have a celebration of life with all those that you love and whom they love around you, to celebrate their lives. And though it was probably peaceful, it wasn't crowded, you still need that. That I believe has been so helpful to me in my grieving process, and it has helped me when I've been going through this pandemic and being at home and just reminiscing, reading cards, and going back and looking at pictures and memories on my timeline of when she passed and how helpful that has been, and the encouraging words. That physical bonding for grief helped me tremendously. It was part of why I was strong. And so when I was walking through my house, and I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful for everything that God has provided for me, and also what God has brought me through. And if it was not for Him and me submitting to Him, I don't know if I would be where I am today. And this entire year in itself has been and has brought about change. It has brought about people reevaluating their lives. It has been about me reevaluating my life, things that I want for myself personally and professionally. It's, for me, my hashtag is living beyond the change. Living beyond change. And I'm going to say that again. Living beyond change. My entire world is different. Your entire world is different. How government see our world is different. How we see voting is different. And we learned in 2020 that our vote matters. Collaboration matters. Partnerships matters. In order to achieve something greater beyond ourselves, serving beyond ourselves is different. This year has hit different for so many reasons. And I'm not about New Year's resolutions. I am about daily resolutions. I'm about daily change. I am about becoming the best version of myself every single day. And I challenge you guys to do and be the same way. Don't allow this pandemic, don't allow grief, don't allow losses in your lives, traumatic events stop you from living the life that God has for you. Because what I do understand and what I have come to realize is that it is always up to us to have that will to gravitate towards God. It is up to us to continue to have faith in God so that we don't miss out on those blessings that He has for us, because we can easily turn a blind eye and miss all of that, like miss it completely. But if you believe, if you continue to pray, if you continue to walk in your purpose and walk in His will, that God is going to provide. He is going to provide. And yes, will you have some bad days? Absolutely. Will you have some days where you don't know if you're going to get into tomorrow? Yes, you will. Will you lose some things? Yes. Would you lose a job? Yes. Would you lose a house? Would you lose a car? Would you lose money? Will you be down to your last penny? Absolutely, yes. But when you are down to your last and all you have is your faith and your belief in God, He will elevate you through that. And your story, your experience will be a testimony. So I'm sitting here as a testimony, guys. I'm telling you, it's like my life just flashed before my eyes when I was walking through my house, and I'm about to tear up because I remember going through my divorce. I remember deciding whether or not I wanted to pursue my divorce. And at that point, it was about materialistic things, like what I had, what I didn't want to lose. But did I want to continue to stay in a marriage that was not thriving on God, thriving through God, and was purposed by God? Did I want to continue to stay in a marriage where my happiness and my daughter's happiness was being compromised. So when I made that choice and I made that decision, I didn't care if I lost it all, because I had my faith in God. And I was down
educational as well.
to my
Is the
last.
span of ears that the Bee
I was
Gees
down
covered. I mean,
to
it had not
32 cents in my checking account. I didn't know how I was going to pay my mortgage. I didn't know how I was going to pay my electricity bill. I didn't know how I was going to pay a car note. I didn't know how I was going to pay anything. And then on top of that, I willingly left a job that was going to compromise my relationship with my daughter, and it was going to take away time from her, and I was not going to be with her the time that I needed to be with her and get her to therapies and all this stuff. And I went to work one day and I just said, I want to be demoted. I no longer want to be store manager. I want to be an assistant manager, and I want a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job. I don't want to work nights. I don't want to work weekends. Like, I went, and they thought I was crazy. They were like, how are you going to leave this great paying job? And they didn't demote me, so I gave my notice. And when I gave my notice, I was like, what the hell have I done? But at the same time, I said, God will provide for me. And so I didn't have another job that I was going to, and my supervisor thought that I was literally losing my mind. They thought I was joking, and they were actually thinking I was wanting more money. And I was like, no, I want to be demoted. I'm actually asking you to demote me. And if that means that I'm going to lose part of my salary, then so forth. And they didn't demote me, and I ended up leaving the job. And for 2 weeks, I didn't have a job. I did not apply for public assistance. I didn't do any of that. I just kept searching for a job, looking for a job, and one came to me, and it wasn't what I was making, but it gave me the schedule that I needed, and I just found a sense of peace and relief because I didn't compromise. And I'm saying that to say that sometimes we have to make decisions that it puts us out of our comfort zone, and it was putting me out of my comfort zone. And if that meant that during that time that I lost my house, I was fine. But I ended up trading in my car, and I got a cheaper car payment. So I went from driving a luxury vehicle to a Cavalier, a 1999 Chevy Cavalier that had no power or anything. The windows rolled down, and I was okay with that. I was okay with that. So I was at a point where I was losing everything, but one thing I didn't lose was my faith in God, that He was going to get me through that transition period of my life, and He did. And just where I am today, and just things that have happened on my job, and things that have happened, setbacks. And I don't see this as a pity party. I don't see this as someone has done me wrong. I just see that, nor am I playing the victim. So I'm not saying that, but I've made choices in my life that I felt like I was not going to compromise my faith in God. I was not going to compromise what I wanted for my family. And so I sit here and I can tell you, I can be anywhere else in the world and doing the most professionally, and having a huge astronomical salary, but one thing that I was not willing, and I'm not willing to do, is to give up my peace. I'm not willing to give up my time away from my child, my children. I don't want that stress on me. And so sometimes we have to make those decisions. And I enjoy a peaceful life. And when I was just walking through my house and being grateful and just feeling at peace, and not worrying about what's happening at the office, what I got to do, in January, because January is going to worry about itself when it gets there. Like, I'm not thinking about any of that. And I'm just so grateful to have all of my faculties, my brain, my mind, my heart, my my belief, my spirituality. I'm just grateful for it all. And if I can get through losing, and I say losing everything because I've lost everything when I went through a divorce, gained so much more, lost a great paying job, and still been able to keep everything that I have and gain on less than what I was making. Losing my daughter, but still having a 10-year-old where instead of losing one, I could have lost two. God provides. And though things may be bleak, times may seem bleak, God provides. And I am saying this to you guys, don't give up. Keep the faith. Things that we're going through, major transitions that we're going through, just keep the faith. 2020 isn't the worst year of our lives. It hasn't been the worst year of my life. It's just been a very challenging time for us. It has taken us outside of our norm. It's given us a new way to look, do, and speak and be. It's about change, living beyond change. Hashtag that. So I just wanted to come and I just wanted to say, guys, you can do this. Don't give up. Don't give in to the negativity. Don't give in to people trying to tell you how to live your life. You live your life within the purpose that God has set for you. Live beyond change. Be who you are destined to be. Don't live for other people, because if you do, you will never be happy. And there are so many people who have taken their lives. There are so many people who have gotten married, gotten divorced because of other people. Live for yourself. Live for yourself. Live within the will of God and trust and believe me. He will get you through all of this. And I'm so thankful, guys. Like, my heart is just so full of joy this morning. And I'm so forever thankful for everything that God has blessed me with, blessed me to come through my life, my health, my strength. And I'm so thankful. And I just wanted to come this morning and I just wanted to say this to you guys. And so if you're going through it, God will get you through it. I promise you. He's not going to leave you. He's not going to leave you. He's not going to forsake you. The only time that you feel that God is not working for you is because you turn your back on him. So keep the faith, live beyond change, accept change, and be a better you. See you guys later.